6:12 p.m. Appreciate everybody's patience. As I mentioned, I'm going to call to order Parks and Recreation Commission meeting Monday, March 14th, 2022. Take a quick roll call. Ken McGarrian.
Here.
Sarah Unger.
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri.
Here.
Vinny Olinsky.
Yes.
Doug Morash.
Here.
Scott LeBombard.
Here.
And Mike Terrell is here. I'd like to just start the meeting real quick by saying a few words about a member of the commission who's passed away since our last meeting. Bob Veronesi passed away on February 21st, 2022. Bob's a guy, just to put it into perspective, he's been on this commission since I was less than a year old. So, the amount of commitment, the amount of prior knowledge and experience that he had here is, obviously going to be impossible to replace. He and I know there's folks on the commission that served with Bob for many, many years. I was only able to do so for a few of those years that he was here, but always happy to lend a helping hand, and always with some wise words from previous experiences that he's had. So I'd ask for a moment of silence in honor of Bob. Thank you. I'd like to start with the approval of minutes from the meeting of February 7th, 2022. Did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes? Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
By Vinny. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jane. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll take a roll call. Ken McGarrian.
Yes.
Sarah Unger.
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri.
Yes.
Vinny Olinsky.
Yes.
Doug Morash.
Yes.
Scott LeBombard.
Yes.
And Michael Terrell, yes. Thank you. Public participation for a maximum of 15 minutes, 3 minutes per person speaking time. Is there anybody here who is not on the agenda who would like to share their thoughts? Okay, seeing none. Next up, City Council communication, if any. Councilor Morganelli, any words of wisdom for the commission for the month of March?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hello, everyone. And I just want to say I was very saddened to hear Bob's passing too, and when at the wake was amazed at all the pictures of all the history of him and his wife Karen, who have dedicated their lives to kids and sports and Westfield. So it's a huge loss. So I thank you for taking the time at the beginning of the meeting for in memory of Bob. I just had a couple of things. The Bocce Courts, which are on the Great River Bridge Park on the at the end of the Columbia Greenway. I'm not sure if this commission, if that's under your jurisdiction or not. It's technically part of the park system, but I know it's DPW. But a resident has would like to play there, but it's the wrong material, and it was overgrown with weeds last year, and now it's the weeds have been, I guess, pulled out, or maybe they just died off or something. But there's a lot of moss, and it's really unplayable. They're two great outdoor bocce courts there. So I don't know. That's one of the things I wanted to bring your attention. And right across the pathway from that are the gas fire pits, and they've been vandalized. I think it's been more than a year now, and nothing's been done to repair that. And there's still little pieces of glass that are seen on the ground there. So those are the two things for that area I wanted to mention. Then I'll get to the other one last item. But if you want to, if you have anything for me with that, for those two things.
Whose jurisdiction? I know that's obviously city property. Whose jurisdiction is that under in terms of maintenance?
I imagine it's DPW's, but I didn't know if the parking, if that's not, because obviously you're in charge of the playing fields and that kind of thing. So that has nothing to do with Park and Rec, right? It's just strictly DPW.
Hathaway, do you have a?
Right.
Yeah, sorry,
we've been taking care of them. We're trying to, I should say. It hasn't formally been turned over to Park and Rec. I'm sure it's going to be. The other problem with the Bocce Courts are the timbers are rotting away and will have to be replaced as well. There's a lot going on up there. The gas fireplaces, fire pits were fixed and then vandalized again. And then the electrician came in to fix them again and had tore them all apart. And I don't know where it is. I was up there last week looking at it. And Fran knows about it as well. And what was the other? Oh, and as far as the material, yes, Mark picked the wrong material to put in there. He did half clay, half sand, which is not right. But I don't know what you guys want me to do with that.
So we have an effort underway that we mentioned at the last meeting where we're trying to get feedback from folks around the city that are using the Park and Rec facilities. So I can add the Bocce Courts here and the fire pits to that list that we pull from the subcommittee meetings that are to be coming here in the next month or so to try to put together a prioritized list of items. I'm sorry. So I can add the Bocce Courts and the fire pits to that list, Nick. So that we can get it just kind of on the prioritized list of items that we need to address.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Scott, for the update. And the last thing I had was when the lightning strike happened up at Paper Mill and destroyed the electrical box and all that. Are there plans to put a lightning rod or a couple of lightning rods up there so that doesn't happen again? Because being up on a hill and the tall trees that are nearby, my guess is that the lightning probably jumped from a tree over to the light, or maybe just hit the light directly, travel through the wire, and then blew through the box. But the lightning does really strange stuff. But if you have a lightning rod, which is really just a cable attached to a rod that's at the top, the electricity is directed directly into the ground through the cable, and it won't hurt anything. So I don't know if that's something that is in the works or it has been considered. I think I mentioned it to somebody, but never officially through this body. So I wanted to mention that.
So I talked to the electrician, Nate, down at DPW. I can't remember what he said. I'll get back to you on it, but I think and he was hoping that they have a redundant system just for that. So that won't happen or shouldn't happen. So I don't know exactly, but I'll have to get back to you on that. And that was at the end of last year. So so we'll get that whipped back up and find out what's going on with them.
And likewise, I mean, it is a safety issue. So likewise at Boland's Field, those lights are really high, and that could also attract a lightning bolt. And obviously, when there's thunder coming and there's a game being played out there, I'm sure it's canceled or it's postponed or whatever. But nonetheless, we've got you've got a brand new scoreboard over there. So I think these lightning rods are something we really need to look into, make sure that, it is spring now, and we can get a thunderstorm anytime, but as most of the time we get them in the summer here, but it is something I think it's really important, not only for safety issue, but to protect our assets, right? To protect the great electronics stuff that we have at these parks. So thank you, Scott.
Yeah, Scott, can you follow up on that, and maybe we can throw it on the agenda just as a discussion point for the April meeting?
I will.
Thank you. Okay, anything else, Council Morganelli?
No, just that it's budget season coming up, and I know I've met with the mayor once already, and we talked about monies and the DPW department in specific, and that it's been a shrinking department over the years with the lack of people to actually do work, potholes and whatever, and maintenance. So we have all these beautiful parks, but if we don't have the people, the manpower and woman power, right, to repair and maintain our beautiful outdoor spaces, then that's something I think that it needs the city's priority. So I did mention that to him as well. Just wanted to pass that on.
Thank you. Okay, next item, it was Sonia Pease, which was a follow-up on the bench donation down at Women's Temperance Park. I spoke with Sonia this weekend, and her and I and Scott are going to schedule some time to meet in the next couple of weeks. So we are going to move this item to the April agenda as well. So moving along to the following item, which is Jason Adams for Westfield Girls Youth Lacrosse for permit renewal. Jason, are you with us?
Hi, actually, my name's Nikki. I am on the board with Jason. He is coaching my daughter, so he asked me to jump on here.
Okay. Hi, Nikki, welcome.
Thanks. We are just wondering if we can use the Boardman Fields.
Yeah, this is a renewal, right? You guys already used the Boardman Field in previous seasons?
Yes, we've used them for the past couple seasons. So yes, it's just a renewal.
Okay. Is there anything different this year? I mean, it looks like days and times look the same or comparable to what they were last year.
They are the same, yes. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 5:30 to 7:30. Occasionally on Saturdays. He didn't give me a time for that.
Okay, and it looks like
sorry.
It's March through the middle of June.
Yes, but I believe we'll be done more the first week of June.
Okay. Either way. Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thanks, Sarah. Can I get a second from someone, please?
Second it.
Second from Jane. Is there any discussion? Questions for Nikki? Okay, seeing none.
I just had one point to not go on them if they're really wet. Right now, everything's really soggy. If they could, I mean, they've probably been on them already, but just kind of in the beginning till the grass starts growing. Or
yes, if it's extremely muddy, we've always canceled practice or moved into the parking lot. Yeah, we won't go out there.
Great, thanks. That's all.
Yep.
And just a reminder about vehicles on the field, Scott. I know that that's been an issue in the past, so maybe just a reminder that they can't be driving onto the field.
Yeah, good point. Thank you. Absolutely. Yeah, I've been fighting that at Bullens, and it's now rectified. So I don't want to have to do that again.
Where is the proper parking for Boardman Field? Is that in the high school at the back parking lot there? Yeah. Okay.
Near the tennis courts?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Any further questions for Nikki? Okay. Seeing none, we'll go to vote. Ken McGarrian?
Yes.
Sarah Unger?
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri?
Yes.
Vinny Olinsky?
Yes.
Doug Morash?
Yes.
Scott LeBombard?
Yes.
And Mike Terrell is a yes as well. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Okay, next item, Paula Hebert Pike, renewal permits, municipal playground Tuesday and Friday morning, April 12th, 29th, May 10th, and 27th, and June 7th, 9:30 to 11:30, parent-child play group with songs, stories, crafts, playing, and dancing. Hello, Paula.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing very well. Thank you for having me back. So we're just looking to extend the play groups that we've been doing at the municipal park. Just two more in April, 2 more in May, and then 1 more in June. If we could have the park in the pavilion that we've been using. It's been going well. We've had a couple. We've had to cancel a couple because of the weather and the wind, but we've been averaging about 12 children every time. So parents have been really receptive to it.
That's great. That's great. Questions for Paula? Okay, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve made by Scott LeBombard. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Doug. Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, we'll go to vote. Ken Megarian,
Yes.
Sarah Unger,
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri,
Yes.
Vinnie Olinsky,
Yes.
Doug Morash,
Yes.
Scott LeBombard,
Yes.
and Mike Terrell is a yes as well. Thank you very much, Paula.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, next item up is Matt Collins from St. Mary's High School. And I don't see Matt here. Somebody here in Matt's place? Okay, let me just look over what we have here. These are standard renewals. We have Boardman Field for lax games and practices. We have Sadie Knox Playground, softball fields. And we have the tennis courts at the Municipal Playground. Dates are 3/21 to 7/1 for all 3 of these requests. And these are standard requests. The Boardman Field is 3 to 5:30 on Monday through Friday. The Sadie Knox softball field is 3 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, as are the tennis courts. These are standard, and I don't know what's Matt may have gotten held up coming here. I would say that we would be safe to go through and approve these permits as they've been filled out. If there's anybody that would like that has questions or would like to take the opportunity to chat with Matt, we could certainly put these off until the April agenda, but I believe they're going to want to start practicing at the end of this month. So I would prefer to try to push these through.
Mike, I'd like to make a motion to approve of these requests, please. Excuse me.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Sarah. Any discussion or conversation for the commission?
No, just these are just renewals of what we've approved for
They're renewals.
many
yeah,
years now, right?
renewals.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, I would ask Scott if there have been any issues from our end with the use of those things by the schools.
No, everything's been fine. We
Great.
haven't had any trouble.
Great, super.
Oh, you know what I wanted to ask is there, remember we did that $50 like a security deposit? We don't do that with the renewals, right? It's just the new ones coming in that we're not sure of.
Yeah, we don't do it with the schools or,
Okay.
The folks that are, returning folks, generally speaking, unless there's been a problem or we feel like there could potentially be an issue.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, any further questions? Seeing none, we'll go to vote. Ken McGarrion,
Yes.
Sarah Unger,
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri,
Yes.
Vinnie Olinsky,
Yes.
Greg Morash,
Yes.
Scott LeBombard,
Yes.
and Mike Terrell is a yes as well. Next item, Jeff Burke, Westfield Skate Park. Westfield, welcome, Jeff.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Doing great.
Mike and I met with Jim and Peter from the town of Westfield about a week ago and just discussed, and Scott as well. And we were just discussing how we can move this project forward in 2022. I think we first started talking about this project in 2020. And then in 2021, I came to a few meetings. But just how can we make this process more efficient so we can get a product and we're not just kind of perpetually talking about what could happen. So, I think one of the big issues that we had was figuring out who owned the land. Is it the Parks Department or the school? And we came to the conclusion that the skate park, it currently is on Parks Department land. So that is something that we needed to know in order to apply for certain grants when it comes to actually getting funds for designing the park and eventually constructing a new skate park there. So now we're trying to figure out the exact footprint of the area that we could build a potential new skate park on. And another item that Peter brought up was just public support. He had a question for me was, is there actual public support for the skate park, or is it just me reaching out to get a new skate park? So we started a campaign. We started campaigning the mayor last week. We had a lot of people from the community send an email to the mayor reaching out in support of a new skate park. So I think the mayor may have received quite a few emails last week looking for support for a new skate park. So now we just need to figure out what our next steps are. I've sent Peter a list of 3 prominent skate park designers that have a really good reputation, have really great portfolios. And I'm kind of just, waiting for my next instructions. What can I do to move this forward on behalf of the city of Westfield? I'm happy to do as much or as little as possible, but I think getting some direction from the group on how we can move this forward so that we could come up with a plan to get a skate park built within the next couple of years here.
Jeff, I have just a couple of questions, if you may. One is, are you considering or feel as if that the location of the skate park now is that where you would put the new park? And would you utilize anything that's there now?
So those are great questions. I think the easiest way to get a skate park built is to utilize an existing location, because then we don't have to go through all of the red tape of finding a new location and going through all of the different zoning and environmental requirements that it takes to get a park built. So I think the current location in that regard is a great location. Number 2, it's right next to the Boys and Girls Club and a school. So if we were to do any sort of programming like skate camps or after school programming, it's like the perfect location for a skate park. And then, I'm sorry, what was your second question?
Whether you would utilize none of the park that's there.
Yeah, so that would, in the end, be decided by the designer on how they could best utilize the footprint. And to, we want to use the space as effectively as possible. There are, I think we would definitely try to recycle the concrete. So taking the existing concrete that's there and grinding it up and using it in the construction of the next skate park. And then there are a couple features at the park that, basically we're going to try to reuse as much of the material as possible. A lot of the designs that are currently there are obsolete and would probably have to be demolished. But there is the flat area at the top of the skate park, closest to the parking lot. That's the portion of the skate park that gets used primarily. So a lot of people have reached out and said, how can we incorporate this into the new skate park? So to answer your question, yes.
Good.
Any other questions or additional questions for Jeff? Sure, Nick, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hey, Jeff, great stuff. And I remember when you were here last year. Any idea of a cost range for the obviously you've got design companies, so you kind of understand what it is, how much it costs to design it. But what about actually building it and the whole thing, design, start to finish?
Yeah, totally. So I know from my experience in Quincy, Massachusetts, obviously with like all the issues with the supply chain, things have gotten more expensive. That being said, we finished our skate park in Quincy in 2020. We paid $10,000 for design fees, and then all in construction, we paid $479,000. We didn't get any grant funding for Quincy. We paid for it out of the city's existing budget. So in Westfield, we would definitely try to go out for grants from the Tony Hawk Foundation, which is a foundation that supports public skate park infrastructure, and also the park grant. And then we're probably looking around $500,000, I would say, for a 10,000 square foot plot of land. The cost of concrete was about $55 per square foot. So, but yeah, I can only speak to my experience with Quincy. 10,000 square foot rectangle skate park, $479,000 for construction.
And we're, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're somewhere in the 600 to 6,500 square foot range in Westfield if we use the existing footprint.
Yep, if we use the existing footprint. And then Jim was looking into how far around the current footprint is actually owned by the Parks and Rec department.
Yeah.
So
there's a little bit of question, to answer your question, Nick, there's a little bit of question as to exactly what that footprint's going to look like, but it's kind of a square footage basis.
And that'll be one of the jobs of the designer too, is they're not really just going to be designing the skate park, but they're also going to manage the entire project. So they are going to have qualifications built into the design estimate that would require a skate park construction company to come in and build things per their requirements. So they're going to help us figure out a budget as well. And that's one of the first things we'll do is work with the city, figure out a budget, and then design within that budget.
And it could be a great opportunity for local businesses to have their name attached to it in somehow, as they want to donate some concrete, donate some other materials. So that's something, we can certainly look at. But, I just needed to know kind of when this comes through the city council at some point, if there's some money to be allocated, I got to vote on that. So I just wanted to get a heads up. And just as a side note too, I love the educational aspect of it. The fact that it's close to the Boys and Girls Club. And I don't know if you realize, like, Cedar Point Park is a roller coaster, out in Ohio. And they have a whole physics and math, STEM program that you can do when you're at the park with all the, the science that goes into roller coasters. It's pretty cool. And skateboarding is the same thing. It's pretty cool stuff. So there's a lot of good opportunities for the kids with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for bringing that up. And, there's so many additional opportunities for education that can roll into this. So, and another, just going back to funding, in East Hampton, Senator John Velas just donated $10,000 to the skate park, and we opened up a donation account with the city of East Hampton, so we can attract businesses to donate to the skate park and deduct it from their taxes at the end of the year. So that's something we'd like to look into with the city of Westfield as well.
Yeah, and just to that end, so Jeff spoke about bringing in a designer, and that designer would come in, and we talked a little bit about the potential of whether we're right in the exact footprint or if there's additional parkland there. So one of the things we talked about was, how do you know if we haven't determined all of that yet, what that design is going to look like or what it needs to be. And that design, the way Jeff explained it was that designer is sort of with us kind of through the process, so that if we design it for a certain footprint and the city comes through and says we can or cannot do that, or we do something different, we'll be able to revise a little bit so that we can make it work with the ultimate footprint that we decide is appropriate. So when Jeff and I spoke, as he mentioned, with Scott and Jim and Pete Miller last week or the week before, I asked him to come back to the commission so that we could sort of get a checkpoint and an update with everybody, let folks know sort of where we stand and what it is we're trying to do. Obviously, we are in the very early stages of it, but I wanted to come back to the commission and make sure everybody knew exactly what was going on, and ask for a vote to be able to continue this effort, to be able to go through with hiring a designer once the funds are obtained, and being able to sort of continue through this process with Jeff. Again, obviously, we would come back, or Jeff would come back to the commission before any further, changes were made, before any shovels were put in the ground, anything like that, obviously. But we did just want to, bring this back to the commission, make the commission aware, and ask for a vote to continue.
The only thing I want to put in there right now is to make this as maintenance friendly as possible. Getting all these new additions without more help. I only have 4 people right now for maintenance, and 2 are the tree department. So I'm just saying that right now because I said it for Holcomb Park, and I just got ran over with Grisati. I asked him when we did the last half of the rail trail. I specifically said, is there going to be a maintenance issue? And I was assured that there wasn't going to be a problem. There's a huge maintenance issue now. So just wanted to have that voiced.
Jeff, what are my impression of these parks are that they are not a heavy maintenance load, but can you speak from previous experience as to the ongoing upkeep requirements?
Yeah, I think, there's grass around the park, and that currently gets mowed. And we're going to be using the existing footprint. So we're not going to be adding any grass to the area. And I believe there's 1 trash can at the skate park that just needs to be emptied. It'd be nice to have a recycling bin, just because, it's 2022, we should be recycling. So other than that, I don't really see, the skate park needs to be professionally maintained. Every few years, we need to have someone come in and seal up any cracks, just like general concrete maintenance. I don't even necessarily know that we need to have the construction company come in, but that's just something that should be happening anyway. It's just so the concrete doesn't get these big gaps in it and become dangerous. outside of that, like the normal day-to-day, week-to-week maintenance would really just be changing out the trash cans.
Sure.
Mike,
other
can I ask
questions?
can I ask a
Yep.
question? Would
Go ahead,
any of
Doug.
this qualify for funding from Community Preservation Act money? Is that
Yeah, so-
another way to help pay for it?
Yeah, so we were just awarded in East Hampton $40,000 from the CPA committee for design and construction document fees.
Okay. So do you know, Mike, and I apologize because I'm not familiar, but would Jeff and whoever's helping him, would they have to go in front of the CPA separately and then come back to us to let us know? Or do the two tracks kind of run together and then we figure out how much money potentially comes from CPA versus our budget? I guess it would be, right? Park and Rec budget.
Yeah, it'll be part of the process of gathering the funding, procuring the funding to go in front of the CPC. So Jeff and the group that's working on this would need to go in front of them to secure, any funds or whatever portion of the project that was going to be before, obviously before we're able to move forward.
Okay.
Not necessarily move forward from this commission, but just in general before the project be able to move forward.
Okay.
Any additional questions for Jeff? Go ahead, Jane. Jane, you're on mute. Oh, you're remuted.
Jeff,
There you go.
hi. Where is the park being built or going to be built in East Hampton?
So there's not a lot of open space in East Hampton. So the mayor and city planner, Jeff Bagg, created a space for us. It is next to City Hall in the back of the parking lot behind the police station. So it's kind of a funky footprint, but we're working with a designer that we're really excited about, and they are excited about the area just because, downtown East Hampton has that nice view of Mount Tom, and it's got the two ponds right there. So yeah, we're excited about it.
Yeah, good. Well, let us know when it's done. Like to see it.
Will do, definitely. Thank you.
Further questions for Jeff? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I believe that was Ken that made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jane DeBarbieri. Any further discussion? Okay.
Mike.
Yeah.
Exactly what is this?
The second time is now. Like literally.
Getting feedback for folks. If you're on the call, if you could kindly mute. There we go. Thank you. So Ken, I think your question was the motion itself.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So I forgot to mention that when I asked for the motion. Sorry. So I'd like a motion to approve moving forward with this process and working through the design phase as it was presented by Jeff. Do you still want to make the motion, Ken?
Yes. I'm not going to take that back.
Okay, so motion made by Ken and seconded by, was it Jane? Okay, further discussion? All right.
Mike, I just have a question.
Yeah.
Are you and I just going to touch base offline on next steps?
Yeah, so we should catch up with Pete and see where we stand in terms of the designers. But we are going to need to start trying to figure out how we're going to raise the funds to be able to do that design study. So
okay, sounds good. All right, thank you.
Any further questions for Jeff?
One more.
Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
Jeff, size of the one in East Hampton is what?
We do not have an accurate size, but it's going to be somewhere between 8,000 to 10,000 square feet.
Last time, any questions? Any further questions? All right, seeing none, we'll take a vote. Ken McGarrion,
Yes.
Sarah Unger,
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri. Jane, you're on mute.
Yes.
Thank you. Vinny Olinsky,
Yes.
Doug Morash,
Yes.
Scott LeBombard,
Yes.
and Mike Terrell is a yes as well. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you all. See you soon.
We'll talk soon. Yep, take care. Designated board members for signing the schedule of bills. We need another commissioner to do that, and we need a vote by the commission to approve that. Vinny, can you elaborate on the responsibility and the duties?
Yes, it's very time consuming and all encompassing. Not you go down to the Park and Rec office. There's a list of the bills, and there aren't that many. You review them, look over, have a few questions. You can get answered right there, and you just sign off on them. It's convenient because I live about a quarter of a mile from the Park and Rec office, and Bob lived up on off of Western Ave. It was easy for him to pop down and look them over. So we kind of, when one of us was away or what have you, we kind of alternated. I have no problem with continuing myself, but it's always nice to have a backup person.
Okay. So in this case, Vinny, the backup would just be in the event that you're not able to get down there, you're away or something of that nature.
We try to split it out. I'm 99% of the time available.
Okay. Okay. Any volunteers for this duty? Okay, I will volunteer for said duty. I drive by there almost every day, or I can at least can drive by there almost every day if needed. So Vinny and I could sort of go back and forth as needed. Can I have a motion to nominate myself?
I'll make that motion.
Backup. That is the quickest motion I've ever gotten from the commission. And the quickest second as well. So Sarah with the motion and Doug with a second. Any discussion?
No, thanks for doing that. I was going to ask, I'm going to start traveling again for work, so I probably wouldn't be a good backup because half the time I'm sure it wouldn't work. But if it becomes cumbersome for you, Mike, we can revisit a couple months and we'll see.
I think it'll be okay. I think
Okay.
it'll be all right. Okay, any further questions? All right, seeing none, we'll go to vote. Ken McGarrion?
No, I take that back. It's yes. It's yes.
Yes, okay. Sarah Unger?
Yes.
Jane DeBarbieri?
Yes.
Vinny Olinsky?
Yes.
Doug Morash?
Yes.
Scott LeBombard?
Yes.
And Mike Terrell is a yes. Okay, next item. This is myself and Scott LeBombard to discuss the fields down at Whitney Playground. Scott and I have been talking about this for a little while now, and sort of kicking some ideas around and what we would like to do in honor of Bob Vernesi, given that he has spent 40 plus years on the Park and Rec Commission, and during that time also probably the same amount of years, potentially or right around that number anyway, umpiring softball down at Whitney Playground. So we would like to propose, as you pull into Whitney Playground, the first field on the right, we would like to propose naming that field after Bob and calling it Chico Field in honor of Bob. So we have reviewed sort of the charter in terms of the process. So approval or recommendation by a commission that is under control of said field is one of the ways that that can be promoted to council. That would be sent from the commission, given a positive vote this evening, to the council for consideration. It would then most likely be referred back into the city properties subcommittee, and then brought back in theory to the general council, to the entire council for vote sometime thereafter. Scott, anything you want to add to that, or any additional thoughts that you had for this?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to kind of reiterate what Mike said, you know, with his contributions down there for about as long as the most of us have been alive, you know, sometimes I struggle naming things after people, but this one is kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. I will tell you, when Bob passed away, I know a lot of the guys that played softball down there and a few of the teams, and they texted me and were just very concerned, sympathetic, and I think the guys and girls down there would really think this is a great thing. That's all I have.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Scott. You know, Bob touched a lot of people through the commission, through the work that he did down there, and in a lot of different ways as well. So I think it'd be a really great gesture to be able to give him this honor. Obviously, at some point, we would, once we're able to, hopefully, once we're able to push this through the appropriate channels and get the official naming designation, we'd like to have some sort of a dedication down there, put up some sort of a plaque, you know, a modest plaque, but just something to signify that. Maybe have Karen come down and Bob's family and have a small ceremony down there in his honor. But I think step one here is a vote by the commission to support this, and then we would bring it to the council. And Councilor Morganelli, I don't know if this would be something that you would bring as the liaison, or if Bridget Matthews-Kane would bring as that is in her ward. So either way, I have spoken with Bridget, so she's aware that you know, that this is in the works, and she's, you know, expressed you know, that this was something that she'd support as well. So I guess we could just promote it from the commission, right? It doesn't even have to go through a counselor per se.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's some of these, sometimes I get stumped. I'm not sure if that's a city council vote. I guess it would be city property. So to rename, probably like the channel that you said, going through the committee, the subcommittee, and Bridget and I could co-sponsor that motion and get it into the city council. I mean, even as soon as tomorrow for the Thursday agenda this week, if that's something you wanted to do right away, or we could wait till the next city council meeting in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Mike, just to clarify, this isn't actually renaming a park, it's just naming a field, correct?
It's just naming the field within the park. The park has no, the park would not change names in any, it would just basically be Chico Field, which is a field that is present
at Whitney Playground. Yeah.
At Whitney Playground.
I see. So yeah, so it may not have to. Did
It
Bridget
does-
have an
it-
answer?
it-
Did you ask Bridget that question?
It would need to go through council. I guess my question is, I believe it's sufficient to promote just from the Parks and Recs Commission as opposed to needing a sponsor. I think it can fall on a city council agenda just via
Yes.
having been approved by the governing commission of that.
Right. So yeah, so under reports of city, what's the title? Reports of city official, whatever. It's under that. And I would just report as the liaison to the Park and Rec that this is something that you're looking to do, and then that would get motioned into the subcommittee from there.
Can we get it on you said you could get on the agenda tomorrow?
I could send it tonight to the city clerk, and tomorrow's the deadline, 5 o'clock
Okay.
for Thursday. So
I, for one, I think would like to, I mean, there's no reason to wait, right? I think that would be cool if we could get it in motion, and then ideally, things would get rolling as the season kicks up down there so that it could maybe actually be done by then.
yeah, it's under reports of city officers, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, could do that.
So we need a motion, Mike?
We need a motion.
Right.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion to name the first field on the right as you come in to
The
Whitney.
field, I believe it's field number 1,
Field
but
number
it is
1.
the first field as you enter the park.
Okay.
We'll get the
official,
we'll get the official wording correct.
All right. So motion to name field number 1 as Chico Field.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Scott LeBombard. Any
Question.
further? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Ken.
The name.
Yep.
I want to make sure with Karen.
Yep.
Of what really would be the best and most appropriate as far as she is concerned, as far as he would be concerned.
Yep. I was just going to say that as you asked the question. And I think that, the actual name is something that we'll have to get some clarification on in terms of officially what we're going to call it. We thought Chico Field because everybody, even the people that don't know Bob's name, know him as Chico. But absolutely, we'll talk with Karen and the family and just figure out what the most appropriate official naming would be. Yes, Nick.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, you can still motion and vote on it and saying that you want to rename it. And then when the subcommittee gets it, you can, relay that information to them as what you'd like it named. So there's time to do that.
Yep. Any further questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to vote. Ken Magarian,
Yes.
Sarah Unger,
Yes.
Linda Barbieri,
Yes.
Vinnie Olinsky,
Yes.
Doug Morash,
Yes.
Scott LeBombard,
Yes.
and Mike Terrell is a yes as well. Thank you, everybody. Reports, schedule of bills. Did everybody get a chance to look at the schedule of bills? The same schedule of bills that we discussed earlier, as a matter of fact. Any questions for Vinnie or on the schedule in general? Okay, seeing none. Staff reports. Monthly staff reports. We have both Scott and Jim this month. Scott, you want to go first?
Sure. So the two issues that I have right now, some of you have noticed that the bollards down at Park Square, the whole backside got ripped out. And when I was talking with Brian Sullivan, I had suggested, what do you think as far as taking them down? Because I've watched a lot of people trip on the chain too, trying to cut across, not using the crosswalk, but try to negotiate the chain and fall. To me, it just says stay out. And I would like to take them all down. And
Where is this, Scott?
At Park Square. Did I say Park Square? I thought I said Park Square.
You did say Park Square, but where?
So
Oh.
if you go to the far end from the gazebo, you come from the far end, come all the way back to where the crosswalks are, the intersection coming in from
Court Street.
across the street from what the hell's the name of that guy? General Shepherd.
Yeah, Court Street,
That
Broad
end.
Street there. Yep.
Yes, Broad Street. So a truck came by, knocked them all off, and we just have been replacing them and reusing them. The guy that was fixing them for us, he's out of business now. But I think, and I talked to Fran about it, because that was my idea to say, they're just getting destroyed. If there was something there that either get rid of we were talking about something like a round cap. So if a truck went over it, it would roll over the cap and then there wouldn't be a problem. But now, we're constantly fixing them. People are smashing into them all the time. And again, it also, when I watch people walking around in that area, trying to, climb over the fence and then the obvious, I don't know. That's why I wanted to bring it up to you guys, and tell me what you want.
I think I'd like to go down and take a look, because I'm having a tough time picturing that.
Sure.
But if it's a maintenance problem, and if they're constantly being destroyed, I'm certainly can't speak for everybody else, but certainly open to a new.
I think it'll look better aesthetically, but that's again why I wanted to talk to you guys about it and get your opinion.
Do you know where they put in originally, like to divide traffic from that? If people are standing back there, that's like behind the fountain and where we put a stage sometimes, right? Like, is there a safety reason for them that we have to consider, or did they? Obviously, it doesn't sound like they stopped
and curbs. We got sidewalks and curbs throughout the city. People seem to be able to, know to stay out of the road, but
you never know.
But that's why I was thinking, you know what? Let's leave it at that. You guys check it out and see what you say. I also was talking to Fran, because I know as soon as we start doing something like that, engineering would probably come down and say something. So I have a meeting with the mayor on Wednesday, and that's on the agenda, one of those. But I wanted to tell you guys too, so that way everybody's on the same page. If you guys say, hey, Scott, take them down, you think that's a good idea, or no, put them up, whatever. I just wanted to get ahead, and so I don't have to, just keep backpedaling.
Scott, that originally was part of a decorative design, and it was representative of back at the turn of the century. People brought their horses and tied their horses to the hitching post. So that's kind of where it came from. We questioned way back if it was a safety issue, and obviously those bollards are they're not going to stop anybody from hitting anybody. So it truly was a decorative type of thing. So I think you're going down the right avenue there to let's eliminate the safety issue, because I don't think there is one, and then talk about aesthetically look better without. Maybe even you take them down for a while.
Yeah,
people think, and you can put them back up.
Sure, sounds good to me.
That's my thoughts on from way over the years of why that was done.
We don't have any security footage of the truck that wiped them out, right? We can go after them for some money.
I think they did get that, because the camera does point right on that part of the park. So
send them a
Where's
bill.
Vin gonna tie his horse to now?
Bring it in the park and tie it to one of the lamps.
Okay, Vin, you can do that?
Or hang it over the extension cord that goes to the tree.
My horse is still running an aqueduct.
All right, Scott, what else? Anything?
Yeah, so I've been working with the trade school quite a bit, and we have, now I'm working with okay. And now I'm working, oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, my battery's starting to go, so I'll make it quick. So the little shed that the irrigation, we have the backflow preventer. It's obnoxious. We can't, you're down there working out of this little cubby of a structure. So what I want to do is have trade school build us a shed so it'll look 100 times better. So I just wanted to let you know that I was pressing forward with that. We'll be able, it'll be like a Warnoco. So when you walk in, the backflow preventer's right there. You're not dealing with the dirt in the bee's nest and hornets. Yeah. Plus it's dilapidated. We got to do something with it. So, but they'll do it for us way cheaper than we can buy a shed.
Okay.
So, and yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Thanks, Scott. Jim?
Yep, I sent mine earlier. Hopefully you all got it. So the in-town basketball league is winding down. A few of the divisions have already finished playoffs, and the rest will be done by tomorrow. The men's league started playoffs this past weekend, so it'll take them about 3 weeks to finish up. Brochures are out and the website is live, so we're taking signups now. And our summer positions for the day camp and playground leaders and directors is open, and it will close May 6th. So if you know anyone looking for a job, tell them to go apply.
Right. Any questions for Jim? Okay, seeing none. Next meeting is April 11th, 2022, and we'll be back at City Hall for that meeting. It looks like it's in room 315. So looking forward to seeing everybody in person. A motion to adjourn?
I have a question before.
Yeah, go ahead, Vinny.
Are we still meeting at 6 p.m.?
6 p.m. is the time. Yep.
Because weren't we meeting, could we get in there at 6 p.m.? I don't remember that far back when we were meeting in person, if we could get in there at 6 p.m.
Sure.
Was it? I thought we could.
Okay.
But we'll clarify that, and obviously we'll get that figured out before we post the agenda. But I
Prior
would.
to COVID, we were meeting later. I think we moved the time up when it was on Zoom, but
Yeah, I
Was
feel
it
like it was
6:30?
6:30. Yeah.
it was 6:30.
Yeah.
My only issue is I'm coming from Holyoke at 5:15. I barely make it across Westfield to get there, but I'll do it, but 6:30 would be better.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll ask Peg, just to go back. If 6:30 was the time that we were doing it in person, we'll go back to 6:30. And then if it becomes something that we need to talk about as a commission, we can throw it on the agenda for an upcoming meeting. I know we've done that a couple of times, in my time here. So if it does become an issue with anybody, please just reach out, let me know, and we can get it on the agenda to discuss. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thanks, Jane. Is there a second?
And in Bob Chico Veronesi's honor, I would like to second that.
All right. Assuming there is no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right, seeing none, we are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.